Anthropogenic climate change is a significant global concern with far-reaching effects on every region and aspect of our life. Ecosystems, particularly forests, are vitally connected with the Earth's climatic system. They serve as potent carbon sinks, absorbing approximately 1/3 of CO2 emissions from burning fossil fuels each year. Forests also safeguard biodiversity and support livelihoods of millions of people. Climate change poses severe threats to ecosystems and human activities. For instance, it can alter forest growth and force vegetation and wildlife to migrate or face extinction. The increasing frequency of wildfires and droughts can lead to substantial economic losses and compromise the quality of life for people. Hence, it is vital that we study these impacts and ways of fortifying the resilience of our forests against climate change. Our university gives top priority to these matters. The Global Changes in Forestry course is designed to provide you with the knowledge to meet these challenges head-on. Whether your goal is to pursue further research, work in policy development, or simply become a more informed citizen, this course can equip you with the knowledge you need to make a difference.
I am Professor Tomáš Hlasný, guarantor of the course Global Changes in Forestry. I will introduce you this course in this video, helping you decide if it aligns with your study plans and interests. I believe that this course is important for all students who are concerned about the future and wish to address it in a responsible and competent way.
The course consists of 5 main modules: Introduction to Earth's climatic system and climate change, Introduction to climate modeling and sources of climatic data, Overview of global and European forest resources, trends, and risks, Interactions between climate change and forest ecosystems, Forest adaptation and the role of forests in mitigating climate change.
In the first module, you will learn how the Earth's climatic system works, which are its main components and processes that shape it. We will explore the science behind the greenhouse effects, its role in sustaining life on Earth, and its major contribution to driving anthropogenic climate change. We will help you to understand the reports of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which is an imperative source of information in this regard. Did you know that the IPCC was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2007?
In this module, you will get familiar with the following topics: Earth's climatic system, greenhouse effect and feedback mechanisms in climatic system, recent and historical changes in climate, guidance to navigate across IPCC working groups and reports,
You have likely heard many times that we anticipate a warming of 1 or 2 degrees centigrade in the mid of the century, or a decrease in precipitation at some point in time in the future. But where is this information coming from? In this module, we will delve into the basis of climate modeling. You will learn the principles underpinning climate models and the methods used to construct climatic scenarios. Such data are needed for evaluating impacts across different sectors and ecosystems, such as agriculture, forestry, biodiversity, and even human health. We will instruct you on how to access the data that characterize future climates for different locations, maybe even for the place where you live.
In this module, you will get familiar with the following topics: components and properties of climate models, climate change scenarios, downscaling of climate data and bias correction, climate projections and main modeling frameworks, the IPCC Interactive Atlas, main climatic datasets.
In this module, we will explore the global distribution of forest resources, spanning from the tropics to the Nordic regions, their conditions, management, and uses. For instance, we will explore deforestation trends in rapidly developing regions such as Africa, China, and Brazil. We will look into the drivers of these changes, such as agriculture expansion and logging. We will focus on Europe, which is a global leader in climate-smart forestry and bioeconomy. Did you know that Europe is the only continent where forest cover has increased over the last century?
In this module, you will get familiar with the following topics: global distribution of forest resources, major deforestation hotspots and trends, European Forest Resources, Management and Trends. A Guide to the Global Forest Resources Assessment Reports of the FAO. Data Source and Applications.
Forest ecosystems are affected by climate change, and in turn, forests actively modulate the Earth's climate. For example, many tree and wildlife species may adapt by migrating to new areas. Other species may be unable to do this and may face extinction. Climate change can amplify forest disturbances and cause, for example, huge wildfires and insect outbreaks, which may dramatically change forest structure and functioning. At the same time, forests have a crucial role in mitigating climate change, mainly by absorbing CO2 from the atmosphere. However, these effects are not that simple, and forest's mitigation potential may depend on many factors. In this module, we will try to understand these effects and illustrate them with examples from across the world.
In this module, you will get familiar with the following topics: climate change, species redistribution and extinction, natural disturbances under climate change, forests' contribution to global carbon cycle, main global and terrestrial carbon reservoirs, carbon cycles under climate change, biophysical effects of the forests, albedo and latent heat flux.
Adaptation and mitigation are two complementary strategies for addressing climate change. In forestry, adaptation involves different changes in management planning that increase forest resilience to climate change. For example, managers may decide to change species composition of their forests and adapt their harvesting plans. Adaptation can also aim to reduce the vulnerability of forest enterprises, for example through diversifying their activities, developing agroforestry systems, and educating the workforce. Mitigation, on the other hand, includes reducing the emissions of greenhouse gases and supporting their removal from the atmosphere. It may include, for example, reducing emissions from deforestation and afforesting new areas. Promoting the use of wood products in place of carbon-intensive materials, such as cement, steel, or aluminium, is another option for mitigating climate change. In this final module, we will provide different examples of adaptation and mitigation practices and help you understand the practical dimension of managing forests under climate change.
In this module, you will get familiar with the following topics: forest adaptation and mitigation, general concept and terminology, forest adaptation through changes in species composition and harvest planning, adapting forests to increasing risks, enhancing forests' mitigation potential through management, the use of harvested forest products in climate change mitigation,